Hey, good morning. It's Edna. Keep here live with Free Coaching Friday. And today our topic is 4 tips to negotiating your first deal. That's usually a big step for most people. And remember, if you need my help building your multi-unit apartment building portfolio, reach out to me at 90days-5k.com. So tips to negotiate your first deal. Well, first of all, make sure it's something that you're serious about getting. If you're just practicing negotiating, go ahead. I mean, you can make lowball offers all day. I've heard many people who teach negotiations say if they don't wince when you make an offer, it wasn't low enough, or if they don't cry, it wasn't low enough. I don't agree with that. I think if people make too low of an offer, it ticks people off and they don't even want to deal with you. So it's got to be fair and equitable. For both parties. Sometimes it absolutely makes sense that you as the buyer are going to do really, really well if you're rescuing them out of a situation they don't want to be in. I mean, that happens. But if you really want to make a deal happen, think about it being win-win. So that's my first tip. Think about it being win-win. What does the other person need out of the deal? Not necessarily do what they want, because of course everybody wants everything, right? I want the best price and the best terms and throw a cake in on top, right? But it's what does the other person need? Do they need to be out fast? Well, you could go in a bit lower if you can take possession quickly. You can go in a bit lower if you can pay cash. Do they have an estate that they're trying to manage from miles and miles away? Is the property a mess that you could maybe clean up for them and get some price off? There's so many things to think about when you're negotiating that deal. The other tips that I would give you is listen to what they tell you. When you're talking to them and they're talking about living in Toronto and their parents' properties in Vancouver, that's a red flag right there. They don't have to come right out and say to you, listen, we're thousands of miles away, we're having challenges. You got to fill in the blanks sometimes, we're having challenges. They don't want to admit what a big job it is trying to sell a property from that far away. So if you can help them out in some ways, think about the ways that you can help them out. And sometimes that's worth a lot of money. You could be dealing with a top-notch executive who makes lots of money and it doesn't make sense for him to take 3 days off to come to another city and pack up his aging parents' belongings. You know what I mean? How can you help? How can you make the deal sweeter for them? And it isn't always about the money. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 could be worth it in time for somebody else. It could be even in opportunity costs. If they're looking at buying something else, but they have to close by a certain date, well, those are some other flags to think about. What are they telling you? And the other is, chit chat with them. Find out why they're selling. If they have other properties to sell, if there's what their biggest concerns are. If there's ways that maybe you can keep some of their capital in the deal. If they're just retiring and going off into the sunset and putting their money into something that's going to earn them a 2% return, well, remember, these are predisposed investors. They've invested in real estate for years. They might be willing to stay in there with you. So those are little nuance, and it's hard to remember all this stuff when you're standing in front of somebody. So make notes, walk in with your piece of paper of all the questions that you want to have answered. And even if you don't take the time to write them down, you'll get most of it. But if you think it's going to slip your mind, write it down. People won't care. If you take it and ask, even if you ask the same question in 2 or 3 different ways, which is another really good tip, ask the same question in 2 to 3 different ways. What do you need to get out of this property? Might be, you know, the same question as, well, what's the mortgage you owe on this property? You know, what's your plans? Like, well, I got a job in Timbuktu and I have to be gone Tuesday. You know, those are all things that are going to help you in your negotiation. Same with, you know, if what's their mortgage? You know, a lot of times people get a mortgage with 5% down, get that transfer, job loss. Well, all those little nuggets are gold in your pocket for negotiating. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. So those are my top tips for negotiating your first deal. And you know what? In reality, every deal, because it's those little things that are going to add up. You know, in module 7 of my course, 90 Days to 5K, the students practice with each other. They practice everything from sofas to table and chair sets to cars to houses. And it's absolutely amazing. Everybody just loves that module. They get points for the things that are on their list that they negotiate. Things that one person wants is not necessarily things that the other person wants. So that's why you gotta learn to question properly. And it's very, very powerful just practicing an exercise like that, practicing listening, practicing helping them get what they want while you get what you want, because it could be 2 totally different things. So again, if you need my help building your real estate portfolio, reach out to me at 90daysto5k.com. Thanks again. Bye for now. Hey, good morning, Chris. Hey, good morning, Joanne, Jackie. Nice to see you guys. Jackie, you need a JV? Well, give me a call. We'll chat. Tell me what you need. And I am around. I'm around all morning, so if you need to chat, feel free to call me. Okay, well, take care, everyone. Have a really, really good day, and we'll talk to y'all on Monday. Bye for now.